Football Power Hour.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Manchester United is third. Go, 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 Man United. Matter of fact, let's actually make the stream a little bit of a roundup where we just look around and see what happened with every team. Matter of fact, we're just going to pull up the league table. And when I say we, I have an esteemed panel. People that are close to my heart, people that I grew up with, people that I respect, and I want you guys to know, you've seen their faces in here, actually. I don't know why I'm doing this, but if you are a new subscriber, I'd like to welcome you, and I'd like to introduce you to the man all the way from Botswana. His name is Nice the Kid. Yo, Mojo and Links. Yo, yo, yo. What's good, homies?
What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
That's my family in Botswana. It's nice to have you guys here and just say, yo, some people have seen you guys here, but people may not know what teams you support. So I'm gonna start with Mojo and say, Mojo, please tell us what team you support.
Well, okay.
I don't know why
first of all, like you said, you're introducing your followers to a special team right now. First of all, I'd like them to know that the first team I support is the Six. 4 of them are out here. You know, these are the guys that you grew up with. That's the first team that I always support. That's the blood. But yeah, football terms, I'm an Arsenal fan, fam. I'm apparently part of the bottling Arsenal. But yeah, Arsenal to death.
Oh gosh, Arsenal. All right,
Arsenal. Wait. I'm gonna put this up there right now. The Arsenal that guys, and I'm sure all of you guys also didn't think we're gonna come in the Champions League. So let's also remember that. That's the first caveat of this conversation, that a lot of people didn't even think they were gonna make the Champions League first. So let's start. Let's just start.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump in right here with this controversy and stick with Arsenal real quick. My name is Link, the Golden Boy, right? TGB. Diddy, thanks for having me. I'm a Liverpool fan, but before we get to my team and the league and all of that, while we're on the topic of Arsenal, I have like something very controversial to ask. Given what we've seen now, has Man United had a more successful season than Arsenal as at date?
I'll defer to Nice the Kid because he's a Man United supporter. Brother, let's take that question.
You know what, bro?
Third in the league.
I actually think
League Cup in the bag. FA Cup final.
I don't know, man. I think I was telling Man U fans the other day that I don't know, man. I think I'd rather be in Arsenal's boat than Man United's boat at the moment, simply because now I feel, had this World Cup not come at a funky time of the year, I don't think Arsenal would have been where they are now. Those guys were red hot. It looked like they had a solid foundation. Man U, I don't know, bro. I think for the players we have, we still should be doing better. That's my personal opinion. I think we have better players than most teams. Not even just Arsenal, but like our starting 11, I think, should be playing better than they were playing now. So I don't know. Personally, I don't think so, unless we win the FA Cup. Maybe if we win the FA Cup, fine. But I think I'd rather be a Gunner right now than a Devil.
Did he go off before
I respect you, lads. I respect you. Grown man talk right there. Grown man.
Who is this
drunk? This is my childhood friend, guys. What? United had a better season for sure, bro. United had better. Like, what are you talking about? These guys warmed the seat for almost all season, and then they said, "Oh, Here you go, Man City. Brother,
I'm
Shucks, welcome.
My
You
God.
are
Wait,
also
wait,
part of
wait.
my-
Can I ask a question? In
Before
the
you ask the
last
question,
couple of seasons,
we have
like,
to welcome
all right, let's introduce our
brother.
homie,
Yes.
the guy who's supporting me. Come on, Shucks. Welcome, lad.
You
Sam,
are
what up, fellas?
unfortunately
What
in
up?
Ghana.
What's up,
Shucks.
Dizzle? What's up?
Unfortunately, you're in Ghana. Go ahead and respond, bro.
Man.
Oh no, his Wi-Fi is just like Arteta right now.
Jesus. No, okay.
That is so
Shots, what's good,
unnecessary,
man?
boy.
Can
That
you
is
talk?
so unnecessary.
Yo, my G, your Wi-Fi is trash.
Wilding out, though. Wi-Fi wilding out, bro.
BTC
Which
is not
part
the
of
one,
the
boy.
fun are
BTC
you
is
in,
not the
bro?
one.
'Cause you're clearly not with the homies.
Hey, Kuma Kwan is not the one, boy. You need to move
You're
back to
muted,
Gabs, man.
Shucks.
While Shucks sorts out his life real quick,
Yeah.
like real talk, I just want to say,
Yeah.
like, while I was asking that, and it's a real question. I mean, T is honestly giving a drunk answer right now. I don't know why he's giving us the diplomatic drunk answer. I don't know what
I
that's about.
swear.
But like real talk though, right? You're speaking from a position whereby as a United fan you're super critical of your team, and I get that. And of course we can't forget the fact that Arsenal were on top for so long and they had like a magical run, but I think that we're busy holding on to that and the fantasy of what could have been as opposed to what really is. Diddy, I don't have the league table in front of me, but just tell me how many points now did City win by? 8?
I'm gonna
6.
pull it up right here.
6.
That's part of the conversation.
6.
Exactly. Go
6.
ahead. Yeah, 6.
So City then won the league by 6 points clear of Arsenal. City themselves didn't touch 90 points. Arsenal didn't touch 90 points or nowhere near. So United really should be sitting back and thinking we clinched third off of Newcastle on 75 points in the last 2 games. Saw off the challenge of my army, Liverpool, and whoever else was trying to come in. And we bagged a trophy already, and we're in a final. I mean, right now they have momentum. City have lost 2 games on the bounce. So listen, as a United fan, you need to be looking at it and thinking, hey, we really have had a better season just by being not trophyless. Those guys are trophyless, and I love my homies.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let me say this, man.
Level-headed Liverpool fan.
The fact that,
Go ahead.
the fact that in the same season we've lost like 5-0, 7-0, 4-1. I don't know, dog. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, not that. I think, okay, on paper, right? Man United, 11. I'll just say starting 11. Could win a league.
On paper.
You just pick our starting 11, we should be doing a lot better than we're doing now. I think so. Let's just be honest. We have World Cup winners. We have a lot of World Cup winners in our team. We have a lot of our midfield is pretty world class. If we just keep it 100, our midfield is pretty. Casemiro, Eriksen, Fernandez on the day, deadly. Rashford, deadly. Okay, fine. Maybe up front, cool. De Gea had a lot of shockers, but let's keep it 100. Very good goalkeeper. Martinez, Varane, very good defenders. Honestly speaking, Diddy, talk to me. Should we be settling for third place and saying we had a good season? I don't think so, dog.
We have to look at here's the thing, Nice the Kid, bro. I gotta tell you this. You gotta look at things in context. Of course, you're listing the players on paper. When you're looking at things on paper, it's very different from you need more context. You have to look at Man United pretty much arguably had their worst season last year. And now Ten Hag inherited shambles. Now Ten Hag also had to face a lot of unexpected things, like from the Ronaldo saga, things that he didn't need to deal with that way. Just I'm talking about not even football related things that could distract from the football and what he's building. So there was so much that he had to deal with. The scrutiny that goes into Man United is just like so much work for the regular coach. It doesn't matter, like, no disrespect to other teams. It's just there's so much over analyzing. I don't even know how much Haaland ends, but we know so much about Man United that it's extra work. So Ten Hag had to work so hard that for me it's appalling that he's not even in the short list for manager of the season. It's like, bro, of course it's Man United. You're supposed to end up okay. Mojo says I can't take it that far. You will respond to
Not
that.
in the league, bro. Not in the league.
Let me
Not in
land.
the
Let me
league.
land.
Not in
Let
the
me
league.
land.
Not
Let
in
me
the
land.
league.
You need
Eddie Howe wins.
context. You need context.
Eddie
You need
Howe
to
wins
see where the
manager of the
team is
month for the
starting
league.
from, and then where we ending at. That's how you have to judge Ten Hag's season. And for me, this season has been so much better than Arsenal's. But go ahead, Mojo, respond.
Wait, what was that? What was that? Oh, sorry, what was that? 4 games, four L's in a row to start your season? 5?
Well, I know our
You know why?
two league games didn't
Something
go
along
that
those
well.
bogus
Brighton and
lines.
Brentford, and then
I'm just saying that
You
to
know?
emphasize your point, to say you guys started off mad rocky. We were laughing our asses off at United. You know what I mean? Until they came and I think they beat us, Liverpool, or something like that.
It was your game versus you guys, Links, that it was actually the instrumental turning point where you had the team starting to believe all of a sudden. And because Ten Hag went from like, yo, we messed up. We should have got Conte. At that time, the conversation was like, yo, we shut us. Why were we thinking? And then everything just starts to fall into place. Marcus Rashford starts to become a totally different. You see the birth of this, and then Man United season, obviously at home, the form just keeps building. You have to reward that, bro. Look at the record that he broke today.
Shucks, man. Shucks. Sorry, all we're talking about right now is whether Man United may actually have had a better season than Arsenal. Welcome back. I hope your Wi-Fi is sharp now. What do you think?
Oh, come on.
Oh, damn. I jinxed him.
Bro, you gave him a nice assist.
Ah, damn.
Hey, my man is not doing you justice there, boy. Please move to Gabs, man.
He's not doing you.
He moved from that
Turn on the
village.
video and try and
Let me
see
try
if
to switch devices. Let me try to switch.
Oh, we
We can hear you now. Okay, cool.
You can hear you now, homie.
He's coming back. He's gonna come back.
And he did.
So
go ahead.
So Mojo, what are you saying, bro? Guys are out here asking about Arsenal, and we haven't even heard your opinion. So what are you saying, boy?
Look, I hear the opinions. I hear where they're coming from. I think Arsenal. I'm sorry, United really, actually, from my perspective, having looked at how you guys played, you sort of almost lived what Arsenal did in Arteta's first season, where he also started with a very bad run, and at some point in time, he was also being questioned or to get rid of him. He was in the relegation zone, and he then fought to get almost to the Champions League. He didn't quite get there. So for me, it's almost just a mirror image for you guys. What you've done well, also, you got the trophy. Ten Hag, first season, he gets his trophy. You remember Arteta also. He came in middle of the season, he won the FA Cup at the end of that season, end of his first season. So it's really a mirror image for me, having seen this just happen 2-3 seasons ago of what Arteta's been. I would agree, because I was the same guy, Lynn. Now, when Arteta won his FA Cup, I was like, nah, he had a better season than all the teams that finished above us because he had a trophy. A trophy means something, and the fact that he's gone to the final as well, he's improved your play significantly. What I'll add to what these guys says, having a starting 11 doesn't mean anything if they're gonna play like it. Having the best 11 on
Chelsea
paper doesn't mean nothing if they're not gonna play. So Ten Hag has done his duty. I think, next season is where you will really judge him for what he can do, because you would have to think that now is the time to buy. Now is the time to back him. Now is the time to get who he wants in place, and then build on from this season. But of course, if you win the FA Cup, God forbid you don't. And if you win the FA Cup,
I mean,
it's without a doubt, you had a better season.
I mean, also
That's
to
a
be
God
honest,
forbid.
like just to be honest though, like it's not
Without
necessarily
a doubt,
about
you
how
had a better
bad. I mean,
season. I think for
Sorry,
me,
Moshe, go
I
ahead.
would just like to add that it's been a good season for me because of that caveat that I included. Like even I was questioning 4 players, guys. I'll be honest. I looked at the teams, I looked at who was bought. Liverpool had come off a good season. Chelsea had bought like 3 teams in one time. Manchester United had also made some signings. 4th place was looking dicey, gents. It was looking dicey at the beginning of the season. So for us to have the season that we had, it's been great, man. It was a great ride. It was a great
But
ride.
couldn't you argue then that again that still should say that probably Arsenal had a better season than Man United, even looking at that?
For an Arsenal fan, dude. I mean, let me say, okay, fine. For somebody who doesn't support
Fellas.
either, I would say, yeah, that's probably a good analysis of it.
Let's be honest, fellas. Let's be honest. Diddy, hear me out, right? Diddy.
All right.
When 0 games are played, right? What's every team's ambition is to win the championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, or any of the big clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So if you can't do that, the next objective becomes what? Top 4 qualification.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Who's in the top 4? Man City, Arsenal, Man United, Newcastle. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So by virtue of expectations from last year or whatever, Arsenal have overachieved or have done extremely well, right? Because they're in the top 4. By virtue of just last season's performance and their expectations, right? Forget what happened during the season, just for a second. By virtue of expectations.
They got the initial achievement because they won a top 4.
Yes.
They've gotten the initial achievement.
Newcastle definitely overachieved also, or at least have achieved their objective. And Man United.
Mm-hmm.
Clubs like Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, maybe they have underachieved. Chelsea more so. So Arsenal, the painful part is that Arsenal had like the fantasy of we could win this, right? They were they were playing brilliant football. They've played amazing football, but the side was young, so they didn't have the legs, so didn't have the depth. Yada yada yada. We know the story. We know the chats, and they'll be back if they make the right signings, right? Yeah. But fundamentally, if you look at it, you wanted to qualify for the top 4. You wanted to win a trophy this season. United have done 2 of those things, and Arsenal have done 1 of those things. That's what a season is defined by. Like, just if you on paper, regardless of whether United got smashed 7-0 on occasion or they were in the relegation zone at some point, at the end of the day, the season is defined by your achievements at the end of that season. Not necessarily by performance. I mean, you should take into account a performance, I agree, right? But at the end of the day, you can brush it off if indeed you've picked up some of these accolades and achievements. So look at it. United are made top 4, check. They've won a trophy, check. They're in another cup final where they could win a second trophy. Only then will you guys want to say that they've done well if they win the second one? No, I don't think so. They could lose to Man City and still would have had a better season.
Yes.
And do you have anything to say to that?
Newcastle has just because Newcastle's in the top 4, you can all agree they've had a better season than Liverpool. But
they have had a better season than Arsenal. That one I can agree with without a problem.
No. Newcastle have not had a better season.
Those guys were looking at relegation, fam. I'll pull up the betting odds. I know.
So that's the thing, Lynx. I want to throw this back at you and say part of it is the whole top, I guess, position 3 and 4 opened up because you could say Chelsea and Liverpool they were doing their own things. How did the season go for you, bro? Like what went wrong for Klopp?
Yeah, dog. Like, how are you feeling? Like as a friend, I'm asking all the time. How has the season
Yeah.
been for you, dog? And it must have been hell, fam.
I think
And before you respond to that, let me pick up everybody that's in the house. By the way, it's up to you, Kush. Obviously, you've been here. Joe Blackman and DJ Unfit for work. Never miss. Rob says I woke up. Yo, shout out to you. All right, brother. Let's go on to your Liverpool spiel.
Spiel. Wow. No, man. Obviously, you guys know it's disappointing. As a fan, it's disappointing to not make top four, to not be as competitive as you were. Even more so because if you think about it, we played, what is it, 82 games last season? We played every single game available to play last season, and we lost the quadruple just with 2 games, if you get what I mean. We lost 2 finals, if I could say so. The last game of the season and then in the final, we would have won the quadruple. So to come from that expectation, that those heights to what we played this season is obviously, it's terrible, man. Good to say. It's just painful. But at the same time, you look at it, like I was actually critical of the team and just watching them play and what's happening. Our players, one, were fatigued, sure. They were demotivated or demoralized. And I think we were just out of ideas. And if we were out of ideas on the pitch, for me, I blame the coach for that. And I think Klopp was Klopp was out of ideas. He was trying to, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results. Right? And I think that's what we were doing for like huge parts of the season, whereby Klopp is out there and he's yelling to guys, we need intensity, we need pressing.
Like before the World Cup.
Yeah? Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like, we were doing the same things and we were expecting different results. But guys, the legs weren't there. Guys, like for our midfield, guys would complain about our midfield and about Trent and about Virgil. A lot of our players have gone off. A lot of our players. And I think it's down to one, motivation in themselves. Fatigue is one thing, but you can get over fatigue. You work your way into the season if that's fatigue. But then also coaching and ideas. Hence why we've been playing a lot better in the last 10 games, because we've changed our system. Trent playing in the inverted fullback. Shout out to Pep for introducing us to inverted fullbacks and all of that. But that
hybrid center back now. Anyway, but like
hybrid center back, whatever you want to call. So those things helped.
Yeah.
I have a question for Links.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask Links a question.
Yeah.
My man, real talk, right? Real talk. I don't know about you, Diddy, but this is what I peeped from the outside in. How influential was the loss of money? Because I think out of everything different from Liverpool, that for me was the biggest missing piece. So I don't know. What are you saying? You watch it all, if not most of their games. How influential was the loss of that man, bro?
You know what? I think it's not as influential as other people may think it is. That's how I feel. It's not as influential as it may seem. Yes, it's a bit. Yeah, no. And I'll tell you why. I think a lot of people will make it out to be something bigger than it was because of then the results that we saw. Mane not being there didn't mean that Mo Salah would play as poorly as he did on his side, because Mo Salah could still have played brilliantly in the first half of the season, regardless of who was playing on the opposite side. The midfield still would have been the engine room and pressing and whatever, even if Mane wasn't there. It's almost as if to say, if Mane was on the pitch and he was doing all the pressing and the running, would he have been the only man on the pitch doing all those things? The team still would have sucked in certain aspects, if you get what I'm saying, where they sucked. So,
but here's the thing. You know that players that can... Continue.
No. There are players that can galvanize a team.
I was going to say, you know that there are players that can galvanize the team just by their performance. I.e., for us, I think it was Casemiro. I think once he started doing his thing, people around him started doing his thing. Do you not think that the absence of money, because kind of money, I don't know, Liverpool money was different, boy.
Yeah, to add on to the money point, I mean, you would argue that River Plate replacement, what's his name again?
Luis Diaz.
Diaz. You would argue that Diaz was actually also nice in that position. He slotted in nice, but then the thing about him, I think he had an injury that hampered him, and then that left hand side for Liverpool just was sort of like the breaking. I'm in the camp of like they really missed the connection and is it pathological understanding that they don't even need to know point that I'm making the run. Mane and Firmino and Salah. I know your point links was like, oh, Salah is on the other side of the field. It affects him because there's moments when Salah would find Mane, because Mane, he knows this moment is his moment to drift in and make a shot or find him on the far post or something. But like, it's all, I don't watch as much Liverpool games as you. Yeah. So this,
I can definitely appreciate what you guys are saying, and I get the notion. And to some, I'm not gonna refute it completely and say no, there's no way the money had no effect. I get it, but I look at it like even like numbers wise, Mane maybe would have added 15, 16 goals to us this season, right? Where would that have put us in terms of like games where we would have lost by thingy? It could have maybe earned us maybe 10 more points or so like that. So maybe we would have been more competitive, sure. But then I also look at the performance, like guys like Robertson, when he wasn't injured and stuff like that. Tsimikas played a few more games this season. Guys couldn't play 5-yard passes, dog. It was like terrible. Robertson, if we're being super critical, Robertson hasn't been able to cross since 2019. I don't know why, but he can't beat the first man since 2019. He can't beat the first man. It's weird. Virgil still would have had a mistake.
That's the difference. We don't watch as many Liverpool games as you, so we don't get that appreciation of where the rest of the team is playing in conjunction of where they should be. But
100%.
For me, I think Mane was a loss, but also Diaz, because Diaz looked like he could maybe have helped you guys. Like you said, maybe earn more points just because of the way he started, the way he plays, his aggressiveness. He looked like a fighter. He looked like a guy who could.
Diaz could grab a game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
So I think that was one of your big misses.
But listen, to touch on a point Balls was making earlier about Eddie Howe being his manager of the year. Like, can we just talk about the Toon Army real quick?
Okay.
Sure. Shout out to the boys. Shout out to those boys.
To those boys. They had a season and a half. I honestly thought after the World Cup, because I thought the World Cup was gonna spoil everything for them. That break is just going to, they're just gonna go down. But they kept it up, man. For them to get Champions League, like they kept up the performances, and even actually during the build-up, as we started losing points, I'd counted them as one of those we'd lose points against, rather than the other ref that we ended up losing points to.
Only 3 teams. Was it only 3 teams that beat Newcastle at home this season? Liverpool, Arsenal, and Brighton just now.
Yeah.
No, Brighton didn't even beat them, right? Did they?
No, Brighton drew.
They did.
Brighton drew.
They drew.
I'll tell you right now, it wasn't us. That's what I will tell you.
So I guess would you guys say like De Zerbi? He's definitely one of those guys that should be.
I'll give push for that as well, because he turned Potter's Brighton into a more free scoring, into even even better Brighton than what Potter was doing. So I would also give him a shout out from a manager's perspective, especially with teams like Brighton. You really don't expect them to be and if you watch Brighton play, their ball is actually quite exciting. Like Brighton, for me, is probably amongst the best, probably top 5 playing football teams like in the league this year in terms of their actual play. Their ball is actually entertaining.
Shout out to Brighton, but I'm not giving De Zerbi shit. That nigga inherited a team that was dope. He inherited a team that was dope.
I was about to say he didn't find. He found a system. He found a working system.
He inherited a team that was dope. The institution, the club Brighton is a well-run club. They're super dope in terms of their recruitment, all of that. He's decent. I'm not saying he did nothing. He's dope, and for him to keep up the level. But for me, he's probably like 5th in terms of like managers. What's the guy's name? The guy at Bournemouth. He's ahead of him for me in terms of manager of the season. He's ahead of him. Is it Nathan Jones?
I don't even know the guy's name. What?
Guys,
Okay,
his
he's a hell of a
Nathan
guy.
Jones. I think his name is Nathan Jones.
Fuck that.
That guy had a relegation club, relegation team. They were lower than Southampton. When Scott Parker was swearing at the club, talking about this club is useless, I want to get fired, and obviously in different words, but he was like, nah, listen, I can't work with this, blah, 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 blah. Bournemouth were dead last, gents, dead last. Where he pulled them up, and they had like a run of like, I don't know if it was like 5 or 6 games winning, and they weren't losing. Those guys, where are they now? Where's Bournemouth?
Look at that, 15.
They're 15th. They've had like in the last 5 games they've lost or done poorly. But in terms of when it was crunch time to get them out of that hole,
Absolutely.
I'm about to say, well, look at that.
Look at that run. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but if you look, that's just the last 6 games. That's the last 6 games. If you study the season, Nathan Jones or whatever, I hope I'm getting his name right. That guy pulled those guys from stone lost, relegation threatened Bournemouth.
Fair enough.
And I'm saying this because you're looking at the players he has to work with.
Bournemouth manager is Gary O'Neill.
There we go. Nathan Jones and some other guy. Gary O'Neill. That's the guy. Thank you.
And I'll give. I mean, hey man, to each their own opinion. But I'd give Marco Silva. I thought was who you were probably trying to. That's who I thought you were maybe trying to say, because he's now, you know, and talking about teams that are like Fulham ended 10th, but you know Marco Silva he turned them into a machine. They've been a problem for a lot of teams, and you know, of course 10th on paper. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I could actually give you Roy Hodgson above whatever your Bournemouth guy is, because Roy. You got I give it to my boy Roy, man. Like,
not Roy.
See, I know you would give it to Roy as well.
Yeah, see.
No, listen. Okay.
Not Roy, man.
Would you give
In
it
all,
to Roy?
Liverpool days, man.
In all seriousness, Diddy, like,
not Roy.
Just name 4 managers you think should be like up there.
Okay, Eddie Howe. Obviously, nobody expected Newcastle.
For sure.
Agreed.
Like nobody. There was like they came out of nowhere. Fine. We said De Zerbi, we mark him down because he didn't have a full season. So Arteta, bro, Arsenal, as much as I love to shit on them, I love to troll Arsenal. Like I get a thrill from that, but like Arsenal played some really amazing football that like they you know, bro, hands up to them, bro. There were some games I was expecting them to like really, of course, they had the ones that really mattered, that they should have, like after the City loss, that they should have, those 3 games that they should have not drawn. But Arteta deserves his credit. He's turned Arsenal into a different team, and you know, with the right investment, they definitely are in the top 4 shout again next season, or even probably going to give City a run for their money again, you know. So maybe the other one that's not really in the Bartley's manager short list, but my short list is Ten Hag, just because of what we talked about at the beginning of the stream. I'm not going to repeat those points because, you know, we've talked about him, but you know,
get out of here, man.
None of you guys are saying Guardiola. What's wrong with you guys, man?
Pep, man. Pep is Unai Emery is another one. That's
look.
Is that a given? Is that a given that he's
It's a given. Guardiola's a bad man. Yeah.
Unai Emery.
Zubri, Gary O'Neill,
links.
Roy Hodgson. Why is everybody saying?
Unai Emery when he
stop one for me saying Guardiola. How are we forgetting Guardiola, guys?
So Guardiola even with Eddie Howe, the only reason why I give it to Eddie Howe right now is because he hasn't started enjoying the oil money just yet. You see, he's just starting to
but it-
appreciate it a little bit. You know,
Here's what I'll say.
starting-
Here's what I'll say
starting
about
like a
Eddie.
nibble. So with the team that he had, it was pretty good because there was still some funny guys on the bench that he had to build in and make sure the team still played how it played. So he's not fully at oil money just yet. But if Newcastle stay the way they're going to be, they'll end up like City. Oh yes, shout out to S-Man. Unai Emery's another one. Yeah, shout out to the man that they threw out at Arsenal. He also had a very good season for. But
Yeah,
he,
but like he
he
came
had
to
a
the
good
Pie
thing.
Gate, so he gets marked down like Deserby for that, but
Fair
No,
enough,
but
fair enough, fair
like he did right. I throw Unai in there. I
but
mean,
they were
like
bottom
like
5 when he took
like
us.
yeah,
Yeah,
like he's saying.
exactly.
Pep-
And he almost got a Europa. You got a Europe run. Did they qualify for Europe?
Yeah, they did.
European squad.
They're in Conference League.
Look at that.
Shout
look
out
at
to
that.
Unai.
Conference League is not European football.
Yo,
Conference
Here we go.
Conference League
Here we
is where you go
Guys-
warm up for your
Guys,
league game,
maybe
man.
2 seasons
That is not
in the
European
Champions
football.
League. Start talking.
Wait.
When do
Mourinho
they
has
play?
had
Mondays.
COVID,
When
so you
is
gotta
that day,
respect
man?
Yeah,
Like,
when
when
do
is
they
the
play
Conference
Conference League? Mondays.
Tuesday. Huh?
No, it
No,
can't
Does,
be
com-
no,
does,
no, no.
I
does,
even
does
broadcast on
Conference
that
League
league,
even
man.
have a song?
You-
Does the
you-
Conference League have a song?
I've not seen one Conference League game, but do they show it on TV?
Does it have a song?
I don't know, bro.
I don't know.
Song?
Never heard it.
No,
Ah,
I actually
mine is
think
Well,
they play on
you're
Thursdays, but like
Liverpool.
mid-afternoon,
Nearly
because
heard it.
those guys, it's not really like
Basically, they play
Thursday
UEFA Cup
midday.
games. They play UEFA Cup games. Then they're like, "Oh snap! Can we squeeze in a second fixture after this?" Those conference guys need to jam.
It's the
When the
warm-up.
lights-
This
It's the
before they-
warm-up
before they-
supporter
for
guys
the
trolling on Conference League. As you nearly missed it. Okay, let's shift the combo to the relegation battle zone, guys. By the way, he says the Papa John Trophy. That's what it's called, the Conference League Trophy. So
That's
anyway,
my man. He listens to talk sport.
yeah. Would anybody predict that? Like, look at the Southampton, Leeds, and Leicester relegated. So, did anybody like have any any surprises from these 3 teams? From you guys?
looking at it
Absolutely.
now, I would have thought.
is my stream the only one tripping, man? I can barely hear you guys.
Now we can hear you.
You
Yeah,
can
it
hear
might be
you.
your stream then.
Yeah,
You're frozen, right? Shit.
you are frozen right now.
Yeah.
But the jailbreak going
Whoever
on.
is not frozen, no, they can take the question. That's the Botswana
That
internet.
I'm fresh
But-
TBI, I left
Yeah,
to go to
no, that's
Kumapani
very
for a
good.
bit, but I'm back home.
There
Yeah,
we
nah.
go.
I was in Kuma. I went to check if Shats is okay. He's all right, but his internet is clearly still bad. So, like, I came home to where my internet is fine. Sorry about that.
Moji, you were gonna say.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, I think from the beginning of the season, I had counted Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, and probably Leeds. Leeds, for some reason, I'd always counted them as being part of the relegation battle. I think my biggest surprise really was Leicester. They've been poor all season, man. Is Brendan Rodgers still at Leicester?
Nah, he left.
He left. Okay. Nah, yeah, he should have left a
Did
long
Nemo
time
get
back.
thrown out?
He left.
Yeah.
Oh, he left.
Leicester's the one I never really expected to be all the way down there.
yeah.
Hey, Frank really tried with Everton though. Frank Lampard really tried with Everton, but I'm glad to see that they got rid of him early enough, and they made it through.
It
Well, I
makes
think
this
even
season that even makes Frank Lampard look worse. Like, bro,
Even
you're just
Chelsea had a fear at some point in time, dude. Like Frank really tried to get Chelsea in there as well, man. So,
relegation, Frank.
Frank is the only guy I know who gets a better job after doing a terrible one. I left Everton and then got promoted, bro. Like, wow. How does that happen, man?
did
Like,
utmost
man.
efforts to try and bring them into the relegation zone as well. He really tried his best.
I think, yeah. I mean, as a Merseyside guy, I really wanted Everton to go down, but just for it to be funny, I won't even lie. I was going to would have made my season that much better just knowing Everton are now down. But shout out to them for showing resolve and winning the games that they needed to win. Leicester, shocking. Way too much talent on that Leicester team for them to be relegated. It doesn't make sense at all. Way too much talent.
It's hard to imagine no Jamie Vardy,
but at the same time, there's also very schlep players. Like this goalkeeper they have, I'm like, who's this guy? There's a guy called Fice or Fas, whatever. He's a center guy.
I think that's the time I actually made my debut on Football Power Hour. And it was Arsenal. Was it Arsenal playing Leicester? And Fas was having one of the best games of his season. An own goal, like 2 own goals. Fas was lit that game, dude. Lit.
He was helping Darwin Núñez even hit the crossbar. He's like, nah, fam, this ball belongs in the net.
Inside. Nah, that guys like that just showed me. No, but okay, so Fas and them are terrible. But real talk, if you look at guys like Ndidi, form has gone in the drain this season. Shame. I don't know what happened to him. Yuri Tielemans just knew he's leaving this season. So to hell with whatever is happening on the pitch. I'm out of here. I feel sorry for guys like Barnes, man. Barnes has had a pretty good season. I think Barnes has consistently improved from season to season for the last 2 or 3 seasons, if we're gonna keep it 100. So it's just weird that these guys are gonna go down, and I don't know. Do you think they're gonna bounce back up? Any of these 3 teams? Do you think any of them are gonna bounce back up immediate?
I mean, I guess Leeds.
Problem is Leicester. They're gonna gut Leicester.
Mm.
They're gonna.
I think.
All the good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Chime in.
Go ahead, see.
I think Leeds will bounce back.
Leeds.
Who's
I think Leeds will bounce back. I don't think they're gonna lose as many of their players. I don't think they're gonna lose as many of their players. Leeds have a way of retaining players. Didn't they get relegated 2 seasons ago and then come back again? Isn't that thing?
That was Bielsa.
Oh, no, that's Fulham. I think that was Fulham.
That's Fulham.
Well, Leeds nearly got relegated last season with Jesse Marsh, and they barely survived. And then and I think they had.
It was coming. I think even with Bielsa, they were very close. It was really a time coming for Leeds. They've always just been dancing in and around that relegation zone for too long in the season, for them to really think.
But I think between the 3 of them, if there's anyone that can bounce back, it's Leeds. Leicester will be gutted for sure, bro. And it's lunchtime at Leicester, man. Leicester have a lot of talent that people can feast off. I just hope we snatch 1 or 2 of those talented players. Because that is actually a good team to get relegated. You know that. Like Leicester's.
Yeah, no. True that.
Didi's team
that
is
it. Chili bad. Ndidi, also a good player. Barnes, like Linky said, also a good player.
Even the right back.
Maybe
what's his name?
Vardy for United because we're into 30+ strikers, so maybe that might be our thing. You know what I'm saying? And another 36-year-old up front doing nothing.
Yeah. I feel like James Maddison, if he can take Donny van de Beek's contract.
Yeah, no, he's all right. Yeah, he's all right. Although did he not leave? Did he not go to Chelsea?
If United sign Maddison and Harry Kane, they're contenders next season.
Ooh.
And the right back.
Yeah, let's actually conclude the conversation on that. What do you guys think we need moving forward? Okay, so Lex says but I
No,
want
it is
also
done. Now I'm
you
saying
and
it.
Arsenal, think
It is
about yours.
done. If we sign,
Yeah, go ahead, nice.
Kumakwane internet. Aye.
Yeah, I thought he's like responding to that. He's like, but he's like talking about something 10 seconds ago.
But if I can jump in while he's still coming back from Kumakwane, it's either Mount or Madison, and then Harry Kane, and like you said, like you said, right?
my bad, bro. It's going on and off. My bad, bro. It's going on and off. So I kept smiling.
Stop answering Shax's
My
calls, dog. He's the one who's the one trying to mess it up for you. Stop answering his calls. Tell him it's done.
Mhm.
You interrupted Mojo's flow. Go ahead, Mojo.
No, I was just saying that. Yeah, I would agree with Links. If Madison Mount, because I think you need probably to challenge Bruno, because Bruno's good, right? I appreciate Bruno.
My thing is tripping. Hey.
He's
Hold on.
good.
Let me get closer to the Wi-Fi. I want to relocate.
What a bad.
Yeah. While this thing keeps, I think Bruno needs somebody else just to challenge him, just to give him a bit of a push to that real world class stage where he should be. Because I think from time to time he gets very relaxed. He gets too easy. He's just thinking that nobody's as good as me in terms of creating chances and whatnot. So get somebody there to really push him. And now you guys will be cooking next season for sure. Then you gotta figure out what you're gonna do with the guys like Sancho and Antony and all these other funny characters of yours that
Because I think
they really haven't shown up.
I just think that they're more of a threat. There's more. I feel like there's just more latency there. I feel like Ten Hag would have had a bit of time to work with them. Them finishing in the Champions League again, they'll be more confident. So the likes of Antony, Sancho, I'm not saying they'll be brilliant, but they'll come right. But they do need like a worldie like Kane. Like he's instrumental. And then somebody like Madison, like you're saying, to compete with Bruno will also just push them also that little bit more over the edge. And then if they can get like somebody like a right back or something like that, they really could challenge because they for me are the club that has the least to do, if that makes sense. Hear me. They have the least work to do to be in the same position next season, if not slightly better. If that makes sense. As in terms of signing, they just have to improve. They have to improve themselves necessarily more than going out to look. They have the least work to do. Whereas with Arsenal, right, you guys have the squad perfect, but you now realize that you need more bodies to cover where you are to add more quality and things like that. United necessarily have the quality, they just gotta sharpen up, and then they had to add 2-3 more bodies in their shop. Also, maybe centre backs. I don't know. Didi, how do you feel? Do you think right now if Varane and your Martinez are out, you guys fare well? Yeah.
It's exactly what I was gonna add that as well and say King Min Jae would be a very, very good quality center back to add. And with that, with all the other positions we've mentioned, it's literally would be enough. I think that would be enough to make sure that we really go far in the Champions League, as well as also improving on this season.
Yeah,
it's all about investments from now on. It's invest smart, that's why I'm ending the conversation on that. And I want to ask you, as Arsenal and Liverpool too, where are you guys looking to improve, and how would you improve this?
You guys didn't ask me.
Oh, you back?
You keep traveling to the
Push is back from his jail cell. All right. Let's conclude on Man United.
I found a way. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Guys,
let's conclude on Man United.
Okay,
guys, laying on the street.
As far as I'm concerned, if we get a striker, it's done. I think everything else is all right. If we get Kane or a Kane-like player, I think we're good. Am I far behind in the
For what?
conversation?
Good for what?
No,
Let
are you
me,
in
let me hear. Good for what? Good for what?
I think we can
To
challenge
challenge
for
the
the
league?
league.
with just a
For
striker?
sure. If we get a
If we get Harry Kane, Sha, let's say we give you
I
Harry
think one
Kane.
cost.
No, let's say we give
If
you
we
Harry
get
Kane.
Harry
Not just
Kane,
a
I
striker.
think
We
we
give
challenge
you
for the league.
actually Harry Kane. You guys are challenging with just Harry Kane
I
added to
think
your
so.
squad.
I am saying that straight up.
My man, this man is
There's
lit.
not just sending you, bro.
I now know why his Wi-Fi was busy trying to talk up some shit. He's just trying to show us, he went and took them heavy drugs. Cocaine's a hell of a drug, fam. Come on. Cocaine.
What are you saying?
Yeah,
Okay,
man,
Didi, what are you
right.
saying? I missed that part. So what are you saying?
Come on, dog.
bro,
No.
bro. We need so okay. Let me just catch you up. We need.
What?
We're not gonna repeat it. We're not gonna repeat it because it's in the stream. But create somebody to compete with Bruno. Midfield, like a center back, potential reinforcement on the right back position as well, and obviously the striker positions, strikers, because Martial's gotta go. We need somebody who's available. We need another person to also work with that person. Potentially get a more experienced striker and a very young striker, so that Ten Hag can have both. And that's sort of like a quick summary of that. But anyway, we're done with Man United. Let's conclude the stream and go move on to Arsenal and Liverpool real quick because people are like,
We
Liam
need
is
Kane.
laughing. As that is like, you high. It's
Man
the
is
exact
high.
thing that kids.
Man
Look
is
at
high.
that.
Yeah, man is like,
I should have
Mojo,
stayed
you
out
go
of the
first.
stream,
You
but
go-
I was fine where I was.
put us on, guys. Put us on, fam.
Mojo, you go first with Arsenal.
Yeah, go Arsenal, bro.
It's difficult for me to say positions because, like you guys said, I think I'm happy with our first 11. Like our first 11 is pretty solid. I think probably the only guy I would take out from our first 11, if I had a choice as a manager, is Zinchenko because of his defensive ability. Zinchenko is great when we have possession, when we think, but against a team like Man City or against maybe if we're going to play against the Barcelona or where you've got top forwards, Zinchenko is going to murder us defensively. So I like back players who are able to do their job first before being able to do their secondary job.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I can agree with that.
I think we need a proper, like a proven number 9, like somebody. I would say our next signings need to be proven players. What I was having a conversation with somebody is that Arsenal is great because what guys don't actually realize as well is we had this average second youngest team other than Southampton. Southampton had the youngest team across the whole season. We had the second youngest team across the whole season. That shows that they haven't won anything in their lives. They are not proven winners. So my signings, my transfers, wherever they're going, probably I think we need a number 9. We need a center back for me. We need somebody to replace Xhaka, which would be central midfield. I think it will be the spine for me. Just get proven quality players across that spine, and we'll be all right. Probably then the fourth one I'd say would be a proper right back for Ben White, because I'll give my hand up to Ben White. He's done what he needs to do, but he ain't no right back. He's not your typical right back. But worst come to worst, and we still have to use him there, I'm okay with Ben White. Tomiyasu still has to come back as
I ain't
well.
even sure Ben White is a defender, man.
It's about getting proper guys. Right, mentioned with Cancelo, and then up in the midfield we've had Mount, and I forgot who else that they mentioned might come in there. But yeah, as Matt says, we just need a bench that can also almost compare to City's, because like the starting 11 is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, great answer, bro. Yeah,
Okay.
let's shift to Liverpool, bro. You
Uh,
know, reinvention and investment. But anyway,
yeah. Yeah, no, like, listen, I don't want to spend hours on this one. Liverpool, I think, to be fair, as sort of jaded as they are, we have quality attackers. They just need time to like get their synergy together. I don't think we need reinforcements there. We've got Diaz, we've got Nunez, we've got Jota, Salah, and Gakpo, Cody. That's five attacking options, which I think if we can just work a system whereby they just keep fit and they can find top form, we should be fine up front. The issue then starts everywhere back there. I think we need to really like switch up our midfield, but without doing too much all at once. I would say if we sign like the likes of a good central midfielder. So I mean, there's been talks of a guy like McAllister. Sure, he's good from Brighton. He's good. Him or Caicedo. Somebody to sort of relieve Fabinho and stuff like that. I like that idea. A shout I'm going to make for a signing, which I think would be great for Liverpool, would be somebody like Eze from Palace. We can probably swoop Eze for like 60 or 70 bar. That guy is a ball carrier. We need that to be able to drive the ball to feed into those guys who'll be making the runs up front. I think he'd be a great signing for us, especially because we wouldn't get somebody like Jude. So 3 midfielders for me would be minimum, or 2 if Trent is going to keep doing his whole coming in thing. And then we need a right back. I don't know names of like dope right backs at the moment, but we definitely need a right back. And left back as well, because I don't think Tsimikas covers cuts it as like cover for Robertson. So we need about 6 players, to be honest.
damn.
5 or 6 players.
I would say, yeah, I think you need at least 2 midfielders for me.
Yeah.
Eze is a winger, by the way, fam. Doesn't play in the central midfield.
No. So, but when you bring him in, he will run from midfield with the ball. Well, you see he's a winger, right? So he will play off of that on the. You see where Jones plays. If you ever seen it, if you see what Curtis Jones.
No, I get you. Yeah, you and Klopp's crazy as for me. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right. But
Yeah.
I don't want it. I was so confused. I was like, what? Why would you want to get Eze in the central midfield?
Mojo is a
Right.
coach, guys. Everybody that's watching this, Mojo is a legit coach. You can't just like shoehorn a tactic. He won't let it pass. He won't
I can't just sign Rodri up front. He's gonna be like, "What are you saying?"
What?
Guys, yeah, no, it's gonna be a hell of an interesting transfer window, man. Let's hope that. Well, I hope Man United make the smart investments and you guys don't invest that well. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Let's hope we
I
get
also
Declan.
just want. Yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for pulling up and just spending time and kicking it, and everybody also that chimed in on the conversation, from Joe Blackman to Never Miss Rob, Kush, and you, S Matt. And I gotta say, you know, these are the homies I grew up with. One we saw his Wi-Fi was tripping. He came in, he tried. The other one does not even have Wi-Fi right now. So, you know, hopefully we can get them all together again, all 6 of them, on another time, and we'll do this again, guys. I really enjoyed it. I want to thank you guys so much for that. Even though the Wi-Fi, you know, it does its Wi-Fi thing. What are we going to do?
I mean, listen, we can set up one after the FA Cup final. If you're down, we can set one up.
Let's do
If you're
it.
ready to come on.
I'm down.
I'm down, bro. Cup's coming home, so it's all good with me. Cup's coming home.
The cup is
To
coming
Manchester.
home.
I might actually.
I don't know which side, but it'll be in Manchester for sure. That's what we do know. That's what we do know.
Together, so that maybe I can actually we can stream in the same room, and then like
I don't want to see none of y'all, man. I'm gonna watch that game alone.
I thought so, man. Thought so.
Well,
I don't cry around men, so I wanna be alone. Hopefully it'll be tears of joy, but I still want to cry by myself. I'm good.
As Pep, I'll end it on that. Unfortunately, on Pep's note, and he likes to say, "We will be there. We will be there." Yep. At the end of the stream, at the end of the FA Cup game, let's go ahead and have that conversation, ladies and gentlemen. I think Man United will be celebrating, and everybody that tuned in, I appreciate you. We out. It's the Football Power Hour. Let's go. Bruno
We will be there. We will be there. Yeah, every game is an exam. Every time again, for as a team and as individual.